Hi, so today we're going to be taking a look at how to compare data. And in order for us to do that, we need to remember and look at some of the vocabulary that we have been working on. And some of that vocabulary, key vocabulary, is median, mean, probably not mode so much, the range, the lower and upper extremes, the lower quartile, the upper quartile, always want to put the P, and then the IQR, which is the interquartile range. So all of those are words that you will be hearing and looking at. Now, in order to save time and get the most out of this time together, I may not be reading all of the scenarios, but jump right into the analysis. If you would like to pause the videos to read prior to that, please do so. So we are comparing brand X and brand Y. And when we're doing that, we're going to be looking at multiple things. But because we don't know what we're looking for, we're going to look at what it is asking and look at our choices. So based on the plots, which statement best compares the number of almonds in the two brands? So this first one I've eliminated, and we'll share why. The number of almonds in the jars from brand X is greater and more consistent. So if we look at brand X, when comparing the consistency or the variation, we're talking about how far they are spread apart. How wide is that spread? And if we look at brand X, we see that it's spread further apart than Y. That means it is less consistent. So because it says more consistent, it cannot be my correct answer. If we go to the second choice, the number of almonds in jars from brand X tends to be greater and less consistent than brand Y. So if we take a look at both of these, I've identified the ranges. Okay, obviously brand Y is more consistent. The range is about 11, whereas the range here, how wide it is about 19. And again, that's estimates because of reading those dots. And if I take a look, I see that brand X does tend to have greater numbers, because if I look at that median, the median is approximately 61, whereas the median here is approximately 57. So if I split this, if I just go through 60 right here and do a comparison, you can see that I have more numbers in brand X that are higher than I do in brand Y. So the number of almonds in jars from brand X seems to be greater. That is true. And it is less consistent, spread out more. So that is going to be my ultimate answer. Let's move on to the next one. The box plot. Now we're comparing a box plot. Okay, shows 7th grade students in two different samples. The sample for each school is 30% of the population. So which comparison is true? We've got to find the true statement here. Grade 7 students from school A are shorter, typically shorter, so A is shorter, than B because the differences in the interquartile. So it's saying they're shorter because of the interquartile. So if we take a look, this is my interquartile range. So I have 61 minus 55.5, which is equal to 5.5 is my interquartile range. And if I look at B, 62 minus 56 is equal to 6. Okay, I think a big thing to look at here on number 4 is just remembering, actually here's the one I was writing on, is if we take a look at the size of these right here, you see that the inner quartiles, just looking at them, they look pretty similar in size. Okay, although they are a little bit off, they look very close. So we need to go a little bit deeper. Grade 7 students from school A are typically shorter than grade 7 students from school B because of the difference in the medians. So if you take a look right here, here is the median, and here is the median. Okay, that is actually going to be the correct answer because look at the variation between those two medians. And remember, that is our middle number. So this is my actual answer. Okay, so looking at the next one, we're looking at a stem and leaf plot. And we're going to talk about the centers and the spreads. So remember, when you're comparing the centers, you're again discussing that mean, median, and mode, and where they're applicable to this problem. So we're going to be comparing science to math. And let's look down here. It's talking about medians, and it's talking about spread. So let's start by finding the spread, which often can be thought of as the range. And the range here would be 4 5/10 minus 1 5/10, which is equal to a range of 3. But if I go here, I have 6 minus, don't forget this little one down here, 0 or 5/10, which is equal to 5 5/10, and that is my range. So obviously, math has a higher range or spread, meaning that they are further apart. So when it has a wide spread, then they're further apart. That means there's more variation. That means it varies more. And that means it's not as consistent, because the numbers are not all clustered necessarily. There's some ones that are sticking further apart. Okay, so we know right now that math has a wider spread. So let's look down below and see where math has a wider spread. Math, higher median, wider spread. Yep. Math has a smaller spread. No. Math has a smaller spread. No. So now we're down to 2 possible answers. Okay, the next part is the median. So one of the easiest ways to find the median is eliminating or marking out one at a time, and just keep going back and forth. There we go. So my median here is 4 5/10. Remember, just keep going. Okay, and I find out that my median is 3. So math has a higher median, which means that this is my first answer. All right, moving on. Now, we're not actually answering this question. We're looking at this box plot. And it wants to know which one has a greater spread. Now, remember, that spread is, again, talking about that range from the low extreme to the high extreme. So if you take a look, 17 minus 6 is equal to 11. And 18 minus 8 is equal to 10, which means checkers has a greater spread. Okay, let's keep moving to the next page. We're looking at another box and whisker plot, or sometimes called just a box plot. All right. right, we're looking at bags of potatoes sold. Express the difference between the medians of each data set as a multiple of the interquartile range. Well, we're just going to look right here. Select from each drop-down menu to correctly complete each sentence. The median number of bags sold at store S. So we need to find the median. So we know the median right here is 20. And we know that the median for store V is at 15. All right, so store S is store S fewer or more than store V? Okay, and I think I can hear you from afar saying that it's more. More by how much? And hopefully we have this solution. All right, the difference between the medians is about blank times the interquartile range. So we found a difference of 5. What is my interquartile range of the number of bags sold from either store? So here I have 15 to 30. So the IQR is 30 minus 15, which is 15. And right here, I have 28 and 13, which also has an IQR of 15. That means there's a range of 15 in both of those interquartiles. So what is the relationship between the difference in the medians and the range? So the difference is 5 and the range is 15. And what is that equal to? That's equal to 1/3. And which one of these decimals references 1/3? Hopefully, there we go. Fantastic. Let's move down to another box and whisker plot. The box plots compare the gross earnings in millions of dollars of movies during the months of August and November. Okay, which statement correctly compares the two data sets? Okay, I see stuff talking about the medians. So let's find those medians. The median here, we're going to round it, is approximately 1150. And the median here is approximately 725. The median in August is about half of the median in November. Well, has this doubled 725? No, that doesn't work. The median in November is about 400 more than the median in August. Well, 725 plus 400, that's pretty accurate, friends. So that is going to be my correct answer. The difference in the medians is about half of the range in November. Let's just check it to be sure. Here we have 1550 minus 1025. So we get a range 525 for November. And the range, the difference in the median is 400. Well, it's 375. Is 375 half of this range? No. The difference in the median is about half of the interquartile range in August. The interquartile range is just about 300. So again, that is not correct. Okay, at this point, I'm going to let you continue with this paper. And then you can check your answers on the worksheet on the Canvas answer document. Remember to ask your teacher if you have any problems.